Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course. Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you. Another offering of my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks. Sampler review series of videos I've been doing for a little while. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff, then, folks. My hands are. I'm gonna talk about the stuff. I'm going to let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not going to lie. It's a little bit better. But anyway, folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there and try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yam around about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means we get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. Folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today, though? Happens to be my, boom, the Union Underground shirt. Yeah! If you're unfamiliar with the band Union Underground, they are a band out of Texas. I believe they started up in like sort of the late-ish 90s. They had like their biggest success though in sort of like the early 2000s period, when the new metal scene was really big and prevalent. They actually had quite a bit of success. One of their songs was like a major theme for WWE at the time. You know, they had a really well-received album. They had a nice run going for them. They did ultimately end up going on a very long hiatus, but thankfully they are back now, and I've been able to see them twice, which has been really cool. It's actually where I got the shirt. I also got some videos from their performances that I've attended. Said videos are on my channel, in case maybe you want to check them out. If nothing else, I'll be more than happy to point you in the right direction as far as their music goes, because, I mean, shit, I just think they're awesome. But anyway, what am I trying for you today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, originally I was planning to do this review from the car, but out of fucking nowhere, just torrential rainstorm, like just coming down in buckets. So I had to go over there and shift it to inside the house. The only thing I had scheduled for today that required me to leave the house, so I wanted to go out and get myself some lunch. Yay, lunch. And of course it starts raining. But I did go over there and get my lunch. But where did I get it from? Well, it happens to be from a favorite local spot that I've reviewed in the past. Boom! Aunt Tina's Kitchen. Woo! They specialize in Southern comfort food. This is their Lake Street location. They also have a food truck. And I have reviewed a number of their stuff in the past. I'm always a big fan of theirs. They're actually going over there and celebrating their 1-year anniversary of their brick and mortar location. So I knew that I had to get in there. But, what did I get from them? Well, boom! I got myself some frog legs. Oh, yes! I haven't had frog legs in years. They were always a favorite of my dad's. After he passed away, I didn't go out of my way to avoid them or anything like that. You know, I just wasn't really actively thinking about them. But when I saw that they had them on the menu at Aunt Tina's, it was like, all right, let's make this happen. So let's get a thing for the thing here. They look like that, and we'll just kind of go. Yeah, I gotta temper my smile a little bit because my goofy ass freaking missing tooth. But anyway, what with this being a review of a local establishment, by the way, it's going to end up on my Eating Out Illinois playlist, which is a playlist for just local spots. Let's try out some frog legs. Oh, frog legs. Yeah. Ooh, okay. Nicely fried. The exterior on them is really nice. Kind of like a fried chicken kind of exterior, but really nice and crispy. And it's not something that I usually think of. Like, when I've had frog legs in the past, like, you know, they might have some crispiness to them, but these are really nice and crispy. Really tender on the inside. If you've never had frog legs, that's good. I mean, They taste a little like chicken. Ain't no two ways about it. And you could probably be forgiven if, you had it and maybe you didn't realize it. But there is definitely a difference. Like, for one thing, they have a little bit more bite to them when you chew it or when you're chewing them. And they definitely have like it's not a one-to-one with chicken. Like it's similar, but there is something that gives them a little something different. And that's what makes them so special is, they do have their own personality. Even if, again, they are kind of moonlighting as chicken in flavor. But yeah, these are really good. Typically, when I would have frog legs with my dad, um, either he would go over there occasionally make them himself, or maybe if we went out to like a buffet of some kind, some places would have them. These, no offense to my dad, these are definitely way better than either of those options. My dad was a pretty decent cook for what he did, but frog legs weren't his specialty. He just made them occasionally. But no, those are really nice. Really nice and meaty. The flavor on the meat is really good. They're definitely cooked perfectly. And yeah, at that point, it's all about just that exterior. And the exterior, I think, is really what kind of puts it over the edge for me on this. Really nice and crispy. Really nicely seasoned. Again, a little bit of a fried chicken kind of vibe, but also its own thing. And I think that, yeah, I think Antina's really kind of nailed it. Like, these are some really good frog's legs. Like, I lament the fact that I wasn't aware that they had these on their menu, because I would have liked to have gotten these, prior to this, as it turns out. But, two questions have to be asked. Would I get them again? Would I recommend them? I mean, clearly and clearly. I have never had anything bad from Antina's, and it's been really awesome to get to see them, continuing on their journey a full year after opening up. And every time that I've gone to them, their stuff is great, and I don't really talk about this enough, but like their prices are nice too. It's like for the frog's legs, $9.99. That's not bad. I also got another thing after this. I got a sandwich, $10.49. Yeah, man, in today's economy with inflation and stuff, full credit to Antina's. I think they're doing, especially for the value that you get in terms of flavor. But yeah, these are really nice. They're kind of a nice hit back to the past for me, kind of, again, thinking back to my dad and our days of eating frog legs together. So I personally think they did a great job. And, like, again, I would say probably the best frog legs I've had. Now, if I'm recommending them, I absolutely am. And I think that, some people might be potentially put off by the idea, but I really would emphasize, like, again, it's very similar to eating chicken. There's nothing weird about the flavor or anything. It's, like I said, it's a little bit different than chicken, but, like, I'd say probably 85% of the flavor and texture is, very similar to chicken, if not 90. So at that point, it's all just about, how it's prepared and, how it's cooked. And Antina's clearly prepared theirs really nicely. And, the cook on them is perfect. So overdone frog legs, by the way, whoa, they're not fun to chew through. But anyway, 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of your week, monumental rest of your month, stupendous rest of your year. Folks, go over there and have yourselves a truly food with your family and friends-tastic rest of your life, since we're kind of going nostalgia on this one. Final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what do you do if you can't do it all the time? I know I can't do it all the time. Here's what you're going to do, folks. You're going to try not to be an asshole. Now, folks, it's not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating, and just bullshit sometimes, folks. When we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there, whenever possible, take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, I just want to go over there, first and foremost, I want to go over there and give a big shout out to Aunt Tina's Kitchen for, again, making it past their first year. That's obviously a tremendously difficult thing for new establishments. And it really does go to show, how important it is to support your local food scene. Because without the support of the local community, places like this, they don't have corporate overhead, they don't have, millions of dollars to back them up. They have to go over there and make it work on a local level. And I'm really happy to see that, Antina's, despite some struggles here and there, they seem to be doing that. And they've fostered themselves really nicely in the community. So, anyway,